how you are working on this noise reduction. You don't need to go deep technical details, but how you are making sure that, okay, I'm giving you the context and like, okay, this is priority to you, but not actually dismissing or just ignoring the rest. Again, let's consider in the middle of this you have false positives and so on, and then I assume that scanners and everybody's kind of doing a good job on reducing false positives. Still, it's mathematically impossible, but let's say 50% of this is false positive. You still have 500 vulnerabilities, right? So maybe that's the question. How you are trying to solve this problem? Okay, I'm giving you critical stuff to deal now. I'm your doctor, right? This can kill you, but all the rest can kill you tomorrow. We need to focus one day.
So I really love your parallel between security people being doctors and not the police, and application security and vulnerabilities being kind of signals that something might be wrong. You can choose to work on the 3 critical things that might kill you tomorrow, but then the rest are a signal, and they need to exist in your data lake. So that's why Smithy does not completely disappear findings, but just marks them as a do not report right now. You can still do an investigation, and when something new happens, go back in time and go into your data lake and figure out what's happened. However, what you decide is important. It really depends on your very specific circumstances right now. For example, you remember a vulnerability called Log4j from back in the day, right?
Everybody remember that.
Awesome. So who would care? Before Log4j, nobody cared ever about their logging libraries. Like, what vulnerability my logging libraries? There was no problem. The second it hits, you want a component, you want a check within like minutes that that you even have this finding, or like you even use this library before any vendor can update or push any new findings or any new rules. And you cannot do this if you rely on your vendors completely. You can do this if you have all the findings historically, and you have your data lake, and you can go back to your data lake and combine signals from different scans, right? Maybe, again, my CNAPP said that this is available on the internet, and I have found out that I use this, and I have found out that I use that. And my threat intel said that companies like in my sector, or companies like me, are getting attacked, and in my geolocation, things like that. You cannot do this unless you have all of this information together to make an investigation. That is a workflow. It's not a query or something else that you can do, right? It's the same as if you were a doctor, you have a patient who suddenly gained, 20 kilos and has had historically very high cholesterol. They are in a very, very high risk suddenly for a heart attack. At least that's what my local healthcare provider says, right? So it makes sense. But the high cholesterol by itself is a signal, but it's not like something fatal, right? Combined with everything else it is. But this is exactly the logic and exactly the rule and exactly the workflow. Let's combine all the signals together and leverage historical data, and suddenly we have the most important thing. But there is no amount of current context that can do that unless you have all this historical data and the ability to combine it in custom ways that are custom to you.
Oi, gostou desse corte? Então te aconselho a seguir o perfil, que tem muito mais conteúdo, e também te convido a continuar o episódio completo na íntegra.